A lot of blockchain games promise great tokenomics, but what actually makes a healthy game economy? Frost Kingdom recently updated its tokenomics before launch, introducing a new mint and burn model for its Ardaya tokens. So what changed, why was it necessary, and how does the entire system works? In this video, we'll walk through the official Frost Kingdom tokenomics page together, explain every major mechanics in simple terms, and see how Ardaya moves throughout the ecosystem. Let's begin. At the center of Frost Kingdom's economy is Ardaya, also known as the Red Diamond Token. Ardaya is designed to serve as both the game's core utility token and a Web3 asset. Inside the game, Ardaya can be used as in-game value. Outside the game, Ardaya is planned to support blockchain features such as staking on the Cross platform. According to the official tokenomics, Ardaya has a maximum supply of 500,000 tokens, but maximum supply never changes. No matter how the economy grows, the total number of Ardaya can never exceed 500k. Having a fixed supply is only one part of the economy. The bigger question is what happens after players actually spend their Ardaya. One of the biggest recent changes to Frost Kingdom is its updated supply model. Originally, Ardaya followed a burn-only system. Whenever players use Ardaya inside the game, those tokens were permanently burned. After the Genesis Box launchpad, no additional Ardaya could be minted. So before launch, however, the developers decided to change this model. Instead of burn only, Frost Kingdom now uses a mint and burn system. So here's how it works. When Ardaya is spent inside the game, it is still burned. But every burned Ardaya creates room for the exact same amount to be minted again in the future. The important thing to remember is that this does not increase the maximum supply. The total supply still cannot exceed 500,000 Ardaya. The developers explained why they made this change. Under the original burn-only system, the circulating supply would continue shrinking over time. Since Frost Kingdom plans to share 5% of its game revenue with Ardaya stakers, a constantly shrinking supply would gradually concentrate those staking rewards among a smaller group of holders. The mint and burn model was introduced so that as the game grows, more players can continue obtaining Ardaya and participating in staking while still respecting the fixed maximum supply. In other words, burning Ardaya no longer removes it from the ecosystem forever. Instead, burning creates a space for future minting without ever exceeding the supply cap. Now that we know how Ardaya circulates, let's see what players actually use it for. According to the official tokenomics, Ardaya has utility across both Web 2 and Web 3. Inside Frost Kingdom, Ardaya can be burned and converted into in-game value. The official example shows that burning 30 Ardaya can be used to purchase a $30 in-game package. Outside the game, Ardaya is planned to support staking on the Cross platform. Eligible users will be able to deposit or stake Ardaya and receive rewards according to the platform's staking system. The project also states that additional utilities for Ardaya may continue expanding over time as the ecosystem develops. Utility is important, but another major part of the tokenomic is how rewards are funded. Instead of relying only on token distribution, Frost Kingdom also connects rewards to the game's revenue. According to the official documentation, 5% of all Frost Kingdom game revenue flows into the holder reward pool. That reward pool is intended for eligible Ardaya holders or stakers once the staking feature becomes available. The tokenomics describe this as a positive cycle. As more players participate in the game, more in-game purchases generate more revenue. More revenue contributes to a larger reward pool, while the mint and burn system allows additional players to continue participating in the ecosystem over time. Before players can begin using Ardaya, it first has to enter the ecosystem, and that's where the Genesis box comes in. The Genesis Box Launchpad is the first distribution event for Ardaya. Each Genesis box costs $30 and guarantees 30 Ardaya, along with bonus rewards depending on the reward tier. According to the latest announcement, the current Launchpad also guarantees a minimum of 33 Ardaya per $30 box, reflecting a minimum 10% bonus during the sale. Some Genesis boxes also include access to the progressive jackpot, giving participants a chance to receive significantly larger Ardaya rewards. The Launchpad represents the primary opportunity to obtain tokenized Ardaya before the game officially launches. After the Launchpad, future minting follows the mint and burn rules described earlier rather than additional public token sales. So, how do all of these pieces connect? Frost Kingdom's tokenomics are built around four core ideas: a fixed maximum supply of 500,000 Ardaya, a mint and burn system that keeps the supply cap unchanged while allowing continued circulation, utility that connects both gameplay and Web3 features, and a revenue sharing model where 5% of game revenue contributes to rewards for eligible holders. Together, these systems are designed to create a token economy that can continue operating as more players join the game. As always, tokenomics are only one part of evaluating a blockchain game, but understanding how the economy is designed helps you better understand how the project is intended to function. Thanks for watching, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.